sorry, that's for a Democrat show.
Let me know when you're ready.
No matter what the technical difficulty is, this man is a professional. He goes all the way.
What you represent to them is freedom.
Was an extremely great conservative commentator. We're tearing it up on Wednesday night. This is awesome. This
will allow me to retort.
Well, this is Jersey Joe for the Reaver of Common Sense show. 8 p.m. on shrmedia.com.
Actually, I just totally screwed up. This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome to the Reaver of Common Sense show. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm making sense out of the senseless. Well, at least I'm trying to. Why the heck is going on? There we go. Nope. I think my headset just went. There we go. The Jersey Takeover's here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you want to support the show and support SHR Media, go to reaver.one/shop. That is reaver.one/SHOP. How's everybody doing? I was doing good just a minute ago, but now, what the heck is going on? Let me see something. It is so weird. All right. It's just weird when, there we go. I think that's working. I think I can. All right. Never had so much problem. And it's not the headset specifically, it's the connector. Oh boy. Why am I not even... this isn't a good thing. Brain fart. I don't know. This is really weird. All right. Let's just get going with this. So, this is going to drive me nuts the whole show because everything is really coming in weird through the headset. There we go. I think I got it. I think I do. What's weird is nobody comes in this room except myself. And I set my settings all, and somehow they get all boogered up. Nobody's in the room, and they get boogered up. Every time I think I got all the issues straightened out, the next day, I test the system, make sure everything's going good, it looks good, and lo and behold, we have more problems. What's helping right now is I've shut down. I was actually going to get it back up and running today. The video stream. But that doesn't look like going to happen anytime soon. Anyways, it looks like Haiti's getting hit pretty hard right now. Getting hit with a pretty bad hurricane. And then it's on its way to the United States, which is, oh, shnikes. Damn, another brain fart. I'm sorry about this. It's just one of those days. We have... The news has just been totally... I don't know where to go with any of what's going on. We have polls that are showing Hillary in the lead. I don't know what polls to trust anymore, which one's not to trust. Of course, the liberals are attacking the LA Times polls. They're trying to tear that apart because that one has Trump up by like 7 points. So they're flipping a lid. Now, here's my question to everybody. If they think that the LA Times poll is the lone wolf and there's no truth to it, why do they give a shit? Let them give false hope to people. If Trump's not ahead and all the other polls are right, that's all you come out and say. Just, yep, that's what's going on. You want to believe that shit? Go right ahead. You're going to get a false sense and leave it at that and go on. Now, them throwing their hissy fit, that tells me that there's truth to it and they got to hide it. Because if it wasn't true, they would just, who gives a shit? Go ahead and give false hope. They do it so many times with some stuff that, and I can't think of anything off my head, that they know is bullshit. So they just pretty much ignore it. But this, they're throwing a hissy fit over. Why would you do it unless it's true? Unless the truth's getting put out and they don't want it. They want it hidden. They don't want anybody knowing the truth. So that's my take on it. Listen, these polls, none of them I don't trust. Everybody has an agenda nowadays. Nobody can be, no one could just be kind of like in neutral on anything. Everybody's got to throw their opinions. They got to sway. And it's really tiresome. Nobody just wants to do their job. Everybody wants to sway. Now, you can't say anything because part of my job, this isn't a job. Part of what I'm to do is give my opinions, and that's what I do. But when you're doing the polls and you're telling them they're, unbiased and we're not a part of it, you're not supposed to be part of it. I don't know. Maybe maybe I'm just too innocent nowadays. Maybe I still believe in that there's supposed to be some good. It's I don't know. We're living in a crazy, crazy time. And it's a scary, scary time right now. The political realm in this country is toxic. And I mean, it's toxic as hell. Nobody wants to respect each other anymore. And part of that is the internet. The internet just... So many people just... They really let loose. And it's comments they wouldn't make in person. They always say, oh, I would make that in person. But I'm willing to bet 9 times out of 10, they wouldn't have the balls to say that shit to someone's face. They wouldn't have the balls. They just, and nobody wants to listen to each other. Everybody wants to spout their mouth off. And I'm guilty of it too. I try to listen, and I try. There was one guy running his mouth to everybody, and he talks about how he has the right to vote for who he wants, and everybody needs to piss off. And then someone would just give some information, and he would totally go off insulting and cussing him out. You know, I put up there, that's being a bigot. You're saying your opinion is the only one out there and acceptable. There's people that have tried to have a conversation and have posted facts, and you immediately attack them. Just, you're screaming that you want to vote for who you want to. That's fine. I'll never tell anybody you can't vote for Hillary. I don't like it. I think you're wrong. But that's my opinion. But you have the God-given right in this country to vote for who you want. But you have those on the left. How many times do we hear, well, they're just nothing but living in their mom's basement. They're deplorable. They're racist because we have a different outlook. And then Hillary sits on her little high horse going, oh, I'm trying to run this campaign without the lowbrow stuff. But those deplorable racist bastards, what? I get tired of it. And a lot of people are starting to notice with Trump. He's not the instigator. He's a counterpuncher. Hey, Dave. Glad to see you. I'm just at a loss with, and it scares me what's going on, because I don't think any of this is going to end. I don't think it's going to get better anytime soon. I think after the election, it's only going to get worse. You know what, Dave? Like I tell people all the time, especially on Twitter, when they get going, they call me a racist. I carry that with a badge anymore. I carry that as a badge. Not because I'm a racist. I'm the furthest thing from a racist. I don't give a shit what color you are. I'm going to treat you the way you treat me. But when a liberal has to go and start crying racist anymore, it means to me you're losing the conversation and you don't have anything to back up your rhetoric. So you're trying to shut down the conversation by screaming, well, racist. And it worked for decades. It's not working anymore. And to give you a perfect example, you have a jock journalist and condemned a gentleman who ran out onto It was during a football game. He ran out in a gorilla costume. Exactly, Dave. And I've said that many a times. Democrats love to, when they're bitching and moaning about something, they're usually doing it. Hillary's been screaming and crying about Trump's taxes. Oh, he hasn't paid taxes. He's not doing this. And what's going on? She took the same exact tax deductions that Trump did. And she hasn't been paying taxes. Harry Reid crying about obstructionists from the right. Oh, they're nothing but obstructionists obstructing. And what did he do as majority leader? He blocked stuff from getting done. When they cry about campaigning and fundraising, it's... And when you take a look, they're doing it, and they're trying to make a law to block the Republicans from doing what they're doing. Because they're not going to follow the law. But back to this jock journalist condemning a gorilla that jumped onto Soldier Field and it did a pretty good sprint. And it was the Lions-Bears game with a gorilla running around on the field. And this jock journalist was screaming how he was a racist, that to jump on the field wearing a gorilla outfit, this person's a racist and having all lives matter. Well, there was a problem with that. See, when the guy, he also was running around being pursued, he did that feet first slide that quarterbacks do, kind of like you can't touch me. Well, it didn't kind of work because the guards played pounce on the gorilla at that point. So they get a hold of the guy and they start walking him off the field. And lo and behold, they take the mask off. And it's a black gentleman that did this. It's a black gentleman in a gorilla outfit that says all lives matter. It's not a racist. The ones that are racist are the ones that are pushing this Black Lives Matter bullshit. Because you're saying a certain skin color matters over anybody else. That is racism. I'm sorry, they scream about racism, but yet who has their own college scholarship program? Who has their own Miss Universe or Miss America? I'm not sure which one it is. It goes on and on and on. We don't have white scholarships because that would be racist, but we have black scholarships. We don't have groups that push a certain white people. No, but they have the NAACP that pushes for the blacks. You got quotas for certain amount of people have to be hired, whether they're qualified or not. It's a bunch of bullshit. Sorry, but I'm getting tired of that crap. I'm getting tired of everything being my fault. I'm getting tired of being crapped on because of the color of my skin. And don't give me this shit about slavery. Because I talked about it, I think it was last week or the week before. Every nationality, race has been enslaved at one time or another. Don't give me that bullshit. Because if you want to talk about reparations, like the UN says America should be paying blacks reparations. Because, I'll try to remember to get back to that. This reparations shit really pissed me off because it's over, how long ago? No other country in the world went to war with itself. We went to war with ourselves to end slavery. No other country. In fact, Africa still has slavery. Parts of Middle East, parts of Asia. There's still slavery going on. But they want to come in and try to point the finger at us for something that happened a long time ago. Please, then I want reparations from my ancestors that were enslaved by Africans and Middle Eastern area. Europeans were put into slavery all the time. But you don't see me blaming anybody and everybody else for my issues in life because of... Exactly, Dave, Muslims still have slaves. Muslims put blacks in slavery still. But you have Muslims in America standing up, crying about slavery from 200 years ago. You got Kaepernick crying about slavery and oppressed people. As a Muslim, his religious group is still enslaving people. I can't understand how you can justify that. I mean, you really can't. And it shows the stupidity of his little protest. Secondly, the other part of his stupid protest and all the other pro athletes that are putting on a helmet, getting out on the field. Oh, no, I'm not going to stand for the salute to the flag. Well, guess what? You got a flag on the back of your fucking helmet, you idiot. So you're putting that helmet on and parading around with the flag on it. It hurts my head. It really does sometimes. And this journalist is going to go up there and start screaming and crying racism right off the bat, fully knowing that it's a black gentleman that was doing it. And there's a lot of people standing up of all different colors that are standing up and saying, enough of this shit. Enough. I'm getting tired every 5 minutes when things don't go people's way. Racist. NFL is going to have to step in, Dave, soon. Because their ratings have been going down. They're going down faster than Monica Lewinsky in the White House. They're going to have to step in. They're hurt. Especially, I want to see how the ratings are this Thursday. Because I'm seeing on social media, there's a lot of people talking about boycotting it because it's a 49ers Thursday night game. And I'd say go ahead. I'd talk to my wife. She's a 49ers fan. I said, hon, can we not watch the game? Just because I don't agree. My wife doesn't agree what he's doing, but she doesn't agree in all these not watching and all that. But that's her right. And she tells me she's right, I'm wrong, so I don't know. Yeah, they can stop it at any moment, and it is a private organization, and you're exactly right. It's... Any job I had, if I started doing protests at my job, I would be fired. There was a baseball player recently with the Mariners. He bashed Obama and Black Lives Matter, I think it was. He's suspended for the rest of the year because he spoke out about his religious. Tim Tebow lost his friggin' career because of his religious views. And he was ran out of the NFL. I'm sorry, there's way worse quarterbacks than Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow was winning games. You could debate whether you think he's a quarterback or not. He was winning games. There's quarterbacks that can't win a game if the opposing team never showed up. They would still lose it. And they still have a job. But Tebow Jesus Christ, first bat in professional baseball. I know it's an instructional league, but first at bat, first pitch, he hits a home run, and they still attack him. Because they have to attack him based on his religion, because Christianity nowadays is a bad thing. But I can tell you one thing. Then we're going to go to break. All this attacks on Christianity, I think you're pushing more people towards it. I really do. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media, High Plains Pundit Radio, ICRN Networks, Red Nation Rising Radio, Speaker, and YouTube. Oh, don't forget iTunes. We will be right back.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Now, Brownells, we know you may have only one shot to harvest that trophy, so we have thousands of accessories and replacement parts to improve your chances. We know how much you love to shoot, so our Gunsmiths articles and videos will help you do more and get more out of your guns. We also value your hard work and money. That's why only Brownells backs up everything we sell with a 100% unconditional lifetime guarantee. Brownells, the world's largest supplier of firearm accessories and gunsmithing tools.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. You didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cop for the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. It seems I got the issues worked out. My splitter, I think it is, on the quarter-inch jack. The splitter is really jacked up right now. All right. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded it to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to support the show, support SHR Media, go to reaver.one/shop and pick yourself a kick-ass t-shirt. Pick yourself up a kick-ass survival bracelet. A pocket constitution. So many items to choose from. I could go through. But, again, as I always say, I suck as a salesman. So just go to reaver.one/shop and take a look. Don't take my word for it. No, Dave, I don't think they can. But these splitters are. I ended up buying a cheap one. It was my stupidity. And it's like if you touch the plug where the headsets plug in, all of a sudden I'll only get it like sounded one ear and it'll be halfway muted. And I got to sit there and play with it, tapping it, turning it to get it to the stereo section. So, and what doesn't help is then you get the standard measurement plugs. Then you got the millimeter plugs, and they're not exactly the same. There's a slight difference between the two, so they don't connect the correct way. It's like, Jiminy Crickets. Just pick a measurement and go with it. We're America. We are standard measurements. Go with that. It's like the guy on Twitter yesterday, or the other day. Not Twitter, it was Facebook. Well, anyway, the Ford is coming out with, they're redoing the Bronco. And some people are making the comments about it. And they said, no, that's not the way the Asian market's doing it. You know what? I'm tired of being a follower. How many years in the car market were we the leader? Now we're following, and now we suck. We suck at the car market making now. So, let's go back to leading. Let's go back to just being the standard of car manufacturing, where all these other companies are trying to catch up with the U.S. And I'm tired of it. Well, the European market's doing this. No, we don't. That is what's wrong with this country. We're too worried about, well, this other country's doing it. So, no, we don't. Put our heads together again. Start coming up with innovations. Be the leader. Stop playing the follower. Being a follower, get your ass in trouble. I mean, I don't think there's anybody that teaches their kid, hey, little Johnny, what you want to do growing up? You just want to be the follower. The one that just listens to everybody else talk and do what you're told. No, you teach your kid to be the leader. To stand up. Well, we need to do that as a country. In my opinion, with unequivocal, Hillary is not it. Hillary wants to do what everybody else is doing. Hillary wants to go to, let's become this world global follower. I can't think of anything smart ass to say. I can't understand the rationality behind it, because I know there is no rationality behind it. Just like I was going to bring up when we were talking about the racism and all that. What's going on in colleges nowadays? Martin Luther King's got to be rolling over in his grave. We have these groups, Black Lives Matter and all that. And what are they pushing? Separation. They want separate dorms. And some of the colleges are offering separate dorms. You're going to have your black dorm, you're going to have your white dorm. There's no intermingling. You can't talk to each other. This is exactly what the Democrat Party wanted 60, 70 years ago. I think it's more than that, Dave. They lost that battle. So what they did is, over time, have convinced groups that it's better. And they had the black groups now sitting there, and they're got them convinced that it'd be better if they separate from the white. So the Democrat Party has taken us back to pre-civil rights again. The Democrat Party, not the Republican Party. The Democrat Party has pushed us back into separation. It took some years, but they got it. They got what they wanted. In the meantime, everybody's saying, oh, the Democrats, they're for the minorities. They're trying to help us. It just drives me. Yeah, I agree, Dave. Those that are old enough, problem is our kids have been indoctrinated for so long. Our colleges, our elementary schools, our high schools, middle schools, they're indoctrinating these kids. Democrats got some patience. I don't know. It's that's it. I originally started talking about. I'm worried about this election because I know everybody says, "Well, if Trump or Hillary's elected, the Republicans are going to get violent." No, I haven't seen the violence from the right. Yeah, I know. Trump said, "Punch him in the nose." Woohoo! Who's actually come up with violence? The left. And I think if Hillary loses, these groups are going to lose their goddamn minds. They don't know how to handle loss. They don't. They've been told they're winners their whole life. You're a winner, little Johnny. You came in last place, but you're a winner. I'm honestly worried that if Trump is elected, there is going to be violence. We've seen it from these groups. I mean, the Democrats, again, history is repeating itself. They used to have the KKK. Well, they don't have that anymore, but they have Black Lives Matter now, which is just a militarized version of the KKK. Well, even then, KKK was a militarized version. But it's just the Democrats. They're hitting the playbooks, and they're not even hiding it, really. Yeah, they're used to participation trophies. Hey, little Johnny, you showed up. You get a trophy. Poor Johnny. He's always getting the shit end of the stick. I don't know. Yeah, election day is going to be bad, too. I mean, you go to a political rally to hear a candidate talk, and instead you get jumped and beat up by the left. And then the left sits there and says, The right is violent. They are hateful. I've never seen so much bullshit in one mouthful. The ones causing the violence, the ones speaking hate. Hillary's talking up there, talking about how love trumps hate. But who's the one that's out there belittling everybody? I have yet to hear Trump belittle Hillary supporters. He's going after Hillary, but he hasn't gone after her supporters. And now you have Hillary and Kane, which again I saw Facebook today and made me laugh. I saw about 3 to 4 people in my small little group, and they all said the same thing. When you say Kane, do you think a little child predator? And I'm like, yeah. I am not accusing the guy of being a child diddler, but he has this appearance that he's like child rape. He's got this unappeasing, and it's not. I'm not trying to bash his look. It's just his whole demeanor, the way he carries himself. It screams, "I'm a child predator." That's not good. Now, I'm not the only one that's seen it. There's a lot of people talking about that nowadays. And Dave, on that point, I am nowhere near expert on Dr. King. Nowhere near expert on him. But the one thing I do know he was trying to teach was to stop looking at skin colors. Everybody should come together and work together. And now his work is being destroyed. And it's... I think someone is mad at me and throwing me into these... getting some really weird emails lately. Some really explicit emails. So I think someone's trying to mess with me by signing me up for certain sites. Can't be worse. I've done worse. A couple of the EMS fire guys we didn't like. One guy, we signed him up for a gay sex site. From what I understood, he had to shut his cell phone number off within an hour. He had to change his email, everything. There was a lot of stuff we did back then. Now it would get us arrested, but it's stuff we did back then. I don't know why it just popped in my head. So I find it funny if someone's actually doing it. It doesn't faze me. But back to the actual conversation. Yeah, this is scaring the shit out of me with what's going on. It's going to be an interesting November, I'll tell you that. And not in a good way. So, everybody be prepared when you go to vote. Just watch your back. Just be careful. As I talked about briefly, Ford's redoing the Bronco. They are coming out with the Bronco again. I'm excited. I just came across an article real quick that as a New York senator, Hillary Clinton promised 200,000 jobs in upstate New York and nothing. What's funny is she's using Obama's playbook, promising the exact same stuff that Obama promised with no results. And I honestly believe that we have people that are waking up to the bullshit. They're really waking up because one of the things Trump is not afraid of southern part of California is on a earthquake advisory. I know that was just a total jump on conversation. I do apologize, and that is just something that just popped up on the TV. They're using the same playbook with nothing happening, and Trump is not afraid to point that out. Republicans have tried to take the high roads for years, and it's bitten them in the ass. Whether you don't like the messenger, that's besides the point. His message is dead on, and he's not afraid to talk about issues that everybody's been afraid to talk about. He goes out there and talks about it, and he gets lambasted for it, but I'm just, I don't know. We got a lot of work in this country to straighten it out. A lot of work. And as I touched on, Hillary Clinton is going after Trump, which is, if you look at the only thing they're attacking Trump on right now is he said some mean things about Miss Universe and his taxes. Those are the two things that they're going after him. That's sad. That's sad that that's the only thing they have to go on right now. But what's worse is Hillary used the same exact tax deduction. And they're going off of an illegally obtained 1995 tax return. That has Trump with a $916 million loss in his companies. Which, it kind of makes me laugh. Because like, do you want that man as your president? He lost $916 million in his companies back in 1995. Well, let's look about that for a second. So, back in 1995, and that was, hang on, looking at something real quick. That was totally off the wall. Brain fart on me. So they're complaining about 21 years ago. Be exact. 21 years ago, Trump lost $916 million. I know they're rounding it off, calling it $1 billion. So that makes him unfit to be president. But let's look at also his financial paperwork that he turned in to run for president. You have to, let everything out, show everything. And it basically, he's at like $10 billion for his worth. So in 1995, his companies were going in the wrong direction. And he turned it around. Turned all of his companies around. They're successful in making money now. And that's a bad thing? That's a bad thing? It is. it's if you can turn a business around like that, that's the guy I want to run the country, to turn our economy around. And people have been bitching about taxes, and he wants to change the tax code to do away with these tax breaks. I know Democrats call legal ways of doing business loopholes, because they call the tax breaks loopholes. They call gun buying, loopholes. Just because they don't like something, they immediately call a loophole. And that's the other thing. When I start hearing Democrats do that, it's like, okay, so they want to change the law, but without changing the law. Nice. I want the man that knows how to create jobs. What has Hillary created besides corpses? I'll wait a minute. Still not hearing anything. I can't think of anything either. Let me think. Still haven't thought of anything. She doesn't create anything. She hasn't created anything. She doesn't know how to create jobs. She knows how to run out there and run her mouth. And let me tell you, if she gets elected, the only thing she will have done is sold this country off to the highest bidder, to the Clinton Foundation. They look like bug. I miss lightning bugs. They don't have them down here in Florida. It's scary out there. I don't know. So now, Jim Irsay, the owner of the Colts, is saying that Andrew Luck is not Manning. No shit. You're the one that ran Manning out of your team. And, yeah, he won another championship outside your organization. I love it. I just... What else do we have? What else? Oh, I know. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media, High Plains Pundit Radio, ICRN Network, Red Nation Rising, YouTube speaker, and iTunes. We will be right back.
Listening to the SHR Media Network. Now, Brownells, we know you may have only one shot to harvest that trophy, so we have thousands of accessories and replacement parts to improve your chances. We know how much you love to shoot, so our gunsmiths articles and videos will help you do more and get more out of your guns. And we also value your hard work and money. That's why only Brownells backs up everything we sell with a 100% unconditional lifetime guarantee. Brownells, the world's largest supplier of firearm accessories and gunsmithing tools.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying cow for the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guy. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm trying to make sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to support the show and support SHR Media, go to reaver.one/shop. Sorry, Dave, you typed that, and it was, all I saw was big chocolate brownie. I'm like, do I really want to know what he's talking about over there? And yes, the leftover pizza is the best. Oh, that would be a beginning of my day if I put all that on. Whew.
So, real quick, real quickly. So, Hillary Clinton's the champion for women. In what fucking universe? The woman has protected a sexual predator, and they're like, well, that's her husband's actions, not hers. And she has helped him. She has, by, number one, staying with him, helped him. She has attacked the accusers, which I find funny. They had to actually take down the part of her campaign that says all victims of sexual assault need to be believed, except, well, those that accuse her husband by the hundreds, I guess. You'd have to go to the strip clubs to get a girlfriend named Big Chocolate Brownie. It's... How can you sit there and say you're the champion when she has attacked her first case as a lawyer when she finally passed the bar after taking it in how many states? Was to attack a 12-year-old that was raped by two men. This woman, she is nowhere near champion for women. She is the champion for rapists, maybe, but not for women. So the kid that played Forrest Gump in the Forrest Gump movies, he's actually runs marathons. That's kind of funny. You know, he's the kid that all of a sudden just took off running and the braces fell off the legs. And yeah, he runs marathons. And he served 18 months in Iraq in the United States Army. That's kind of funny. No, 3 rapists, Dave. 3. The 2 that she defended and her husband. But her husband is a serial rapist. I would make a joke, but I'm not. It's... But to have her on there as the champion, it just makes my brain hurt. It really does. Well, from what I've read, with that 12-year-old that got raped, she got raped by 2 guys. And she defended both of them. Maybe I'm thinking something else. So on Sunday, and this Hillary Clinton went out there and she made the basket of deplorable comment, and then tried to walk it back. Well, now her campaign manager, Robbie Mook, doubles down, and a lot of Trump supporters are deplorable. He went out there and he doubled down for Hillary. We've heard Kane still go on about it, Biden. They're still doubling down, even though the backlash that she had gotten, they're still doubling down. I don't understand. Let's see. Okay, so this didn't work. This technique didn't work. So, what are we going to do? Well, let's try it again. I know you can't walk it back. They tried, but to double down and go back there? When it's already hurt them once, you're going to do it again? So how are they going to apologize from this one? You can't apologize once, okay, stupidity. Twice, now you're doing it on purpose. And I know she did it on purpose. I'm just saying, once she could play dumb, and, it was just, spur of the moment, wasn't paying attention. So then she goes out there, and she attacks, well, it gets released. And she talks about how Bernie Sanders supporters are basement dwellers. And no, it's not a good thing that she said that they're in the basement. It's not because they're out of work. That's not what she was saying. Exactly. This woman, Hillary Clinton, despises the people under her. She don't give a rat's ass about her. She thinks it is owed to her. She thinks the presidency is owed to her. On a side note, real quick, I was sitting here worried about today's show because they're supposed to be working on my roof, replacing my roof. And it's they didn't show up this morning, so I'm like, where the hell are the roofers? So if they show up, there might be some noise, and tomorrow's show there might be some noise. I can't avoid it. So I'm going to apologize about the noise in advance. But yeah, it was more than just basement stuff, but she attacked his supporter. But what really shocked me, the roof is on fire. What really shocked me with that whole basement comment coming out, Bernie Sanders steps back and goes, yep, I agree. Shows you what type of man Bernie Sanders is. He showed it once. I know he showed it with the, selling out. But this one really, well, yeah, he's backing her. But he's saying, my people are living in the basement because, they're out of work and they have this college debt on them, and he's going around trying to justify her comment now, and I find it sick that he's doing it. The problem is, and then Sanders sold him out for a condo and a plane. I saw a meme, and memes are not fact. Too many people post these things like it's the end-all, be-all. They're like, bam, here you go, it's done. No, it isn't. Anybody can make a meme, you dickwad. And it put, why didn't Bernie Sanders back Trump? And the answer was because Trump didn't buy him an airplane. Yeah, for the price, it better be a nice area. Pay $600,000, but I just bought a house in downtown Trenton, New Jersey. But she would not only went after about that they live in the basement, she pretty much put out there that this free college is a false promise, that it's just a political talking point. And she's been talking about that a lot, about free college. And it comes out that she, admitting that she's lying outright about it. And she talks about a lot of things in that audio just proves she's nothing but a fucking liar. She says whatever the people want to hear, which is typical, and it's what Trump has been pointing out. Trump's a lot of things, but one thing is he does what he says. Because, yes, it is an ego thing. He says he's going to build the economy. He's going to do it, or he's going to die trying. Because if he doesn't get it done, it's going to hit his ego. And, yes, I want a president like that. I want a president that's going to be passionate about doing what he promised. I want a president that's passionate about trying to fix the country. And if he says some things that hurt your little ears, fuck you. Grow the hell up. Damn, I tried that shit when I was young at the firehouse. Well, that's offensive. They turn around and you better get some balls and some thick skin or get the hell out. But is it the quarterback for the Eagles wins? They had a bye week this week. So what did he do? He went hunting. And he got a deer with, it was bow season. And he got a deer. And he took a picture of himself with the deer. These goddamn liberals were losing their heads. One of them told him to go to the store to get the venison meat. Seriously. They're losing it. Well, it's not nice and it offends me. He took a picture with a dead animal. Yeah, and? Well, it upset me. I don't want to be looking at that. Then don't fucking look at it. Simple. You don't like it, look it. You don't like what's on TV? There's a lot of shit I don't like on TV. I don't watch it. Simple. I'm tired of other people telling me what I have to say, what I have to listen to. You know, no. And I've said this since day one with Trump. And I've gotten some arguments with some people, some friends, over it. Trump's speech does not bother me. I am from New Jersey. That is how we talk to each other. He is not doing this because he's a racist. That's how it is. And I find it funny. New Yorkers, he's a racist. He says mean things. You're not New Yorkers. You're imported in. And I got to talk about stories with Twitter. So I got into it with a freaking foreigner. This foreigner was going after Trump over bankruptcies again. And it's beating a dead horse, and I find it funny. Oh, he kept these small businesses from ever getting paid back. He stole money from them. No, he didn't, you fucking moron. What the liberals don't understand is, number one, he used a legal business law. And a lot of businesses do it. They buy companies that are failing. Yes, they buy companies that are failing. They see where they can turn the company around to profitability. So they get these companies, or sometimes companies just get in a little trouble. You file for bankruptcy. And what the liberals don't understand or don't want to talk about is there is different levels of bankruptcies. And I actually, because of this foreigner, which really made me laugh, she's sticking her nose in. I guess she bounces between Dubai and London. And she wants to talk about our elections and talk about Trump's bankruptcy. So I actually looked into it and found a Politico. A Politico. For those that don't know, that is a liberal site. And they talked about Trump and how he filed for Chapter 11. And even in the article, they talked about how it's a restructuring of debt. Doesn't forgive you of the debt. It's a restructuring. Even my simple mind, because everybody likes, since I'm a Trump supporter, I'm uneducated. Well, this uneducated American understands that Chapter 11, and when you file for that, it allows restructuring of the debt. You still have to pay it back. And sometimes, yes, you get to pay it at a reduced price. That doesn't mean Trump was allowed to. But it restructures the debt, allows you to restructure the business. Those companies went on, the people got paid their money, and life went on. So don't sit there and run your mouth about something you don't know. He filed for Chapter 11. It's a restructuring of debt. Companies do it all the time so they can save companies. Yes, in the 80s, it was real big that corporations would buy these failing companies, tear them apart, sell everything. Well, that gave a bad image. They also found out it could be more profitable by buying them, filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, and then, lo and behold, the companies are now profitable. There's multiple levels of bankruptcy. What is it? Chapter 11, Chapter 10, Chapter 12, 13. And Obama redid the bankruptcy laws. So, you know what? Stop with the rhetoric. Stop with the half information. And I find funny, so many times I've learned to look at anybody that's supporting Hillary anymore. I look at their profile specifically to see where they're from. Same with Obama, because that's the one that taught me. Look at where they're from. Because the majority of the support on social media is foreigners. And what I even find even funnier is, wasn't it Hillary who was screaming and crying on that we shouldn't have foreign interference? Well, she ought to make sure on her Twitter and stuff that foreigners do not get involved in the politics and trying to tell us how to run things. Because it was Hillary Clinton who made the big stink over foreign interference, while she has foreign interference on her Twitter. So my advice is, when people are talking and having discussions on Twitter, make sure you look at their profile and at least look at where they're from. You have in the European Union, they're running ads over there because they want to make sure that any Americans that are there vote, because they're so scared of Trump. Why? Because the European Union won't be getting much help from the United States. And I'm still, because I'm tired of hearing he wants to do away with NATO. No, he doesn't. But the liberals love to do this. They play a game. They compare our health plans to Europe's health plans and how Europe pays a cheaper price. But what they don't tell you is it was either in the 80s or the 90s, because America was doing so great financially and Europe was strapped. There was deals struck. We pay a higher health cost so that Europe can get a lower health cost, because we were rich as a country. We deserve to shoulder the extra cost. Now they're crying about the high cost. The same people who made those deals are now crying about the high cost in America. And look, they don't pay the high cost. Oh, we need to do what Europe does. Well, then who's going to pay for the insurance? Because we're helping pay for Europe's. And it's the same thing with their defense. Why they get to spend money on everything else is because the one that's been paying for the defense of Europe has been the United States. We have been paying for their military protection. We pay the majority of the money into NATO. We pay a majority of the money into the UN. And we get crapped on the most. So yes, I agree with Donald Trump. We'll stay in NATO, but all these countries need to start kicking up an equal amount. And you know why? One of the reasons why the liberals are pissed at Donald Trump? Because he's beating them at some of their own games. When he talks about war, he wants the other countries paying up. That's what Obama was talking about over Bush. He talked about the cost of the war and how we were shouldering the brunt. Doesn't make Trump a liberal. He's using some of their own arguments against them. And I've agreed with that. I agree. I was brought up. Number one, we are a powerhouse. We help protect. That's what people of power do. You help protect those less that are weaker than you. We also fight the wars over in the other areas so that we don't have to fight the wars or any of it on our soil. So I'm for NATO. I'm for helping protect Europe. But we shouldn't be brunting the cost. When we had to go to war, we're anymore are the ones that are paying for it, not the other countries. They need to, pay up. When we talk about going into the Middle East, fine, they want us to help. And the Middle East country did want us going into Iraq and Afghanistan. Well, guess what? You need to pay up if you want our troops over there. And if our troops do end in a demise, then you need to pay the survivor benefits. I'm tired of we help all these countries and they get shit on. We're trying to help the Middle East, and I know there's arguments, and everybody has their own opinions, and I'm not going to go into that. But we try to help in the Middle East. And then we get blamed for all the problems in the Middle East. And this isn't my argument, and I wish I could remember her name. There's a Muslim that was hitting a television circuit. As she said, she does not agree with America as a nation. She does not agree with their foreign policies. But what she did do is stick up for UK and America. And she asked one question. They blame everything on us. Were we around 2,000 years ago? 2,500 years ago? No. Those wars in the Middle East started back then and have continued. And they still try to blame us for everything. Well, no. It don't work that way. It's not our fault. It is their own fault. They have been fighting over the lands for thousands of years. We haven't been around that long. But it's a way to get simple-minded people to back them. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media, High Plains Pundit Radio, ICRN Network, Red Nation Rising, YouTube, Speaker, and iTunes. We will be right back.
Listening to the SHR
Now, Brownells, we know you may have only one shot to harvest that trophy, so we have thousands of accessories and replacement parts to improve your chances. We know how much you love to shoot, so our gunsmiths articles and videos will help you do more and get more out of your guns. And we also value your hard work and money. That's why only Brownells backs up everything we sell with a 100% unconditional lifetime guarantee. Brownells, the world's largest supplier of firearm accessories and gunsmithing tools.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying cop for the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense show. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm making sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover's here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to support the show and support SHR Media, go to reaver.one/shop and get yourself a kick-ass t-shirt. Just go there. You won't be disappointed. So go to reaver.one/shop. That is reaver.one/shop. So let's see where I just saw an interesting comment. Where'd it go? Now I'm not going to be able to find it again. Oh, someone's big argument why we shouldn't vote for Trump for president. Because he did some work with WWE at one time. Oh, my God. God knows how many other celebrities and all that have done a stint on WWE. That doesn't change that he's a businessman. Period. I just find some of these arguments so hysterical. It's, oh my God. Stupidity. Let's see, where are we at? Oh, we're on the last segment of the show, and go without radio or commercial interruption. And here's the other thing: when we talk about taxes, and we got all these like liberal type. Wait a minute, you lost me, Dave. You didn't. You lost me. You have these like Apple and they have Facebook and Twitter, and they have so many offshore accounts, foreign companies set up that they can shuffle their money around so that they don't have to pay taxes. So all these liberal companies that they try to uphold are avoiding taxes themselves. And it's... No, Trump he did a little stint with WWE. Sorry, I can't remember exactly. I know I was talking about that. And there's many celebrities that did that. It's... Well, it's... Companies play the game. IRS comes up with the laws. The companies try to pay as little taxes as possible. There's nothing wrong with that. They're following the laws. They're playing the game. And then to pick and choose the facts that they're going to use, that's the one that really... Hillary Clinton and the Clinton Foundation are using the exact same tax breaks that Donald Trump did. But they want to try to lambaste Trump for doing it. That shows me just how unfit you are as a president. Oh, it gives me a headache, I'm sorry. It just... Oh. How much more of this are we, the American people, going to take that we allow our politicians to pull this type of crap? When are we going to say enough's enough, and we're not going to take our politicians, whether it's Republican, Democrat, they could be a goddamn Martian. No, they can't be a Martian because they weren't born in the United States. So when are we going to say enough and stop allowing our politicians to act like criminals? We need to, and don't tell me we need term limits, because we have them in. We have term limits in. Stop voting them in, period. Very easy. Stop re-electing them. Just stop re-electing them. They'll get the point after a while. And me and my aunt were talking the other day, and she's like, I just found out that for a long time, political positions were volunteer. Yeah. She's like, we need to go back to that. I'm like, hell yeah. Back the way this country was founded, it was a volunteer position. So there was no career politicians. They did their job, and they wanted to get home. They had to get home to their family. They had to get home to their farms or whatever businesses they were running. They wanted to get home to do that. They didn't want to be sitting in Washington, D.C. Because it's not like they can go home every weekend or, every night. They were away for months on end. We have too many people that see this as a career path. That's not what it is for. And we, the people, need to take back control. Problem is, we, the people, are so divided. And they have done that on purpose. Because if we were not divided, we could take control. But having us divided, we're fighting amongst ourselves too much and not looking at what they're doing. Now, Supreme Court, surprisingly, smacked Obama a little hand again. And after the Supreme Court ruled on the executive amnesty case, Obama tried to get them to reopen and look at the case again, which they denied. The state of Texas' position has been validated by the United States Supreme Court today as they denied the Obama administration petition to rehear the immigration case. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton stated, he also, rewriting national immigration law requires the full and careful consideration of Congress. This is the latest setback to the president's attempt to expand executive power and another victory for those who believe in the Constitution's separation of power and the rule of law. As reported in June 23rd, the nation's highest court left in place a block of President Obama's unlawful executive amnesty dictate. The 8-member court has a vacancy left, as we all know. So on that date, there was a 4-4 tie, which then drops it back to the lower court's decision. This is why also the Supreme Court has decided it's not going to hear any major case. They don't want ties to come up. So they're going to delay hearing any major cases. So there were several gun cases that were going to come up. And they're denying, they're not going to listen to them this year. They're pushing them off to next year. Which could be good, could be bad. Depends on how this election comes out. And this is why it's so important. It's this election, it's going to take our country either forward or it's going to destroy. Hillary will destroy this country. We have been on a path of destruction, and she will just expand it. So on Twitter, someone has a picture of Chelsea reading a little story to, I guess, her child. And someone played with the photograph, and the book is called Nana Goes to Prison. Oh, God, if we only could hear those words. I'm at a loss at least it seems like every now and then there's a little ray of light that the American way still works. That 4-4 tie is, well, thank God the lower court ruled in a certain way. It's scary, this country, as it is. And I know I'm kind of stuttering today on it, but it's we could be going in a very bad direction. So the federal agency pushed law enforcement. And this one is also... I kind of understand the reasoning behind what they were doing, but they didn't think things fully through. And I don't agree that they actually did it. It's one of those things that I say it's a good idea on paper, but it's not a good idea to implement. What they did is that ICE, the U.S. Immigration and Custom Enforcement, pushed law enforcement. They have, there's devices that you can put on these vehicles. As it drives by, it hones in on the license plate and records the license plate. And what they wanted these officers to do was, during a gun show in Southern California, was just drive through the parking lot, recording everybody's license plate. Now, they would then cross-reference all those license plates with anybody going into Mexico, which would then trigger an investigation and so forth into those people. What they were trying to do is find gun runners, gun smugglers, drug lords, and all that. But what it does is it's an overreach of the power of law enforcement. And it's kind of like one of those, it's, like I said, it was a good idea on paper. Hey, we can cross-reference and try to get an idea of who these people are. But you have Johnny. He's grown up. He's kind of bored on the weekend, so he decides, I'm going to go to the gun show. I just want to look what's going on. Next weekend, I'm going to Mexico on vacation. Now, don't tell me this doesn't happen, because it very well could happen. So he goes there, parks his car, he goes in, walks around, doesn't buy a gun, doesn't buy anything, just it's to kill time. And me and my wife have done that. We've gone to these trade shows just to walk around, just to look around. Sort of like going to the mall. And the next weekend he goes to Mexico, because he's had a vacation planned for months in advance. So now this all triggers an investigation into him. An unconstitutional investigation. An innocent man. Now everything's going to pop up. He gets pulled over, and the cops are going to treat him different, because it's going to pop up that there's an investigation into him. There's so many things that can go on, and it's bullshit. It's an overreach, an over search by the police. They have no reason to search everybody's license plate, just like I hate this shit down here in Florida. And I thought it was ruled that it's unconstitutional. As you're driving, they start searching license plates. And I watched the cops do it. They pull up behind and they start pulling people's license plates up. They start searching people's records without anybody doing anything wrong. And then they try to figure out a way, if they find somebody that has something, they figure out a way to pull them over. And that's how they justify. This isn't... There's a fine line between police work and unconstitutional searches. I know a lot of the officers are doing what they're told, but that is not an excuse. Just because ICE told these local law enforcement to go through and record license plates is not an excuse for them actually doing it. As technology expands, so does the overreach expand. Now, Bill Clinton was giving a speech recently. And now he's taking swipes at Trump supporters. I've never seen presidential candidates take swipes at the supporters before. I've never seen it. So if she does become president, how is she going to say that she is going to do the best for all Americans when she has verbally attacked a large portion of Americans? She won't be able to, because she has proven that she hates those that are against her. And Bill Clinton's going out there and saying, that we are people blinded by resentment and fear. I'm not blind. I'm not fearful on that aspect. What's funny is, though, is Clinton arrived on the stage at 1:44 p.m. for a rally, but it was supposed to begin at noon, an hour and 44 minutes earlier. And this is becoming a common thing that Hillary and Bill are majorly late for these, they feel the people beneath them can wait for them. And he went on about the debate. Listen, if anything, that was a 50-50 draw. I think Trump came out ahead because of the simple fact is they tried to rile him. They tried to get him to scream, yell, and attack Hillary, and he didn't. And I've seen many people say they changed their opinions because they heard about this big, bad, evil Trump, but didn't see big, bad, evil Trump. And they saw the bullshit lies that the left are smearing. So they're still, and if they won, you wouldn't see Clinton, Bill, or Hillary, trying to defend that they won so much. And that's all they're, we won. Come on. If you actually won, you wouldn't be acting like a 5-year-old. Then again, that's liberals for you. Bill Clinton then went into a mocking of America. I'm mad about immigration. I'm mad about trade. I'm mad my wages aren't going up. And he said it's the voters of hope versus the voters of fear. We saw what hope and change got us for the last 8 years. Jack shit. That's what hope and change got us. Yeah, I'm fearful. Hillary Clinton is going to destroy this country. I'm fearful what the liberals are doing to this country. I'm fearful of the illegal aliens that they're allowing to come into this country. I'm fearful of the terrorists that they're allowing into this country. Yeah, I do have fears, Bill Clinton, and they're all justified because it's from this hope and change that never came about the last 8 years. And now you want to go to just hope. Well, hope don't get you nowhere. Tell you what, I hope
Hillary doesn't get elected. How's that for being the voter of hope? I hope Hillary Clinton finally gets indicted. I hope Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton get charged with scamming people. It's now coming out, and we're finding in several states that there is some registration of dead people, but also illegal foreigners have been found to be voting in Virginia. And the Democrats always try to play it off like it's nothing, but we keep hearing time and time and time again about all these illegals voting in our elections. And the only ones that are trying to fight to stop it are the Republicans. The left are trying to stop anybody from creating laws so that just Americans can vote. They have done anything and everything in their power to allow illegals to vote because they kiss the ass of illegals. And it's funny because all this is backed by Soros. A good friend of mine, she was pretty Democrat about a year ago and before. Let me tell you, I've been hearing, well, she's now backing Trump. She's actually paying attention. She's shocked to see that George Soros is, sticking his nose so much into our elections, into our way of life. And there's so many people that are finally seeing George Soros and his influence, and that it's not a good thing. Voter registration, voter ID cards, and it's like 70. Poll was done, and 70% of the minorities do not see where it's an issue. They agree with voter ID cards. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not racist. Because if you sit there and say it's racist, then why aren't you attacking the dozen of other items in American life where you have to show an ID? Hell, to vote in the Democrat primaries, you have to show an ID. To get in the Democrat convention, you have to show an ID. It shows the hypocrisy within the Democrat Party, which it's full of. I want to thank everybody for being here today. As always, I'm humbled, and I appreciate so much the listeners. Hopefully, I keep thinking I got everything straight in my life and got everything with the technical equipment fixed. As the show started, it seems there's still little bugs I got to work out. And with that, I just want to say I appreciate it. I'll be back tomorrow, 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock. Hopefully with not a lot of noise. But until then, have a good day. You've been listening to the Reaver of Common Sense with its host, Jersey Joe. You can tune in every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on hppundit.com and shrmedia.com.